Here's my top 5 choices for top 5 drafts. In other words, it's a top 5. Best drafts of 2023.
Let's go.
Let's do it. I need music. I need NFL Films music to set it up. Now, we just heard
music.
Hey, you heard Daniel Jeremiah earlier, and you've been hearing this quite a bit. Everything that I'm telling you right here, this draft wasn't as deep. This draft will have third-day picks struggling to make the roster. That's what this draft's going to be. So you saw a lot of people trading out, and you saw a lot of people being aggressive in the first 2 rounds. There's 16 trades on the second night. So that's why when you've got a shot at a blue chipper, you take it. And that's why the Texans are 5th on this draft list. 5th best draft, I'm going because they went Stroud and Will Anderson. Get out of here. Get out of here. And they still have a first-round pick next year. They used a first-round pick to make this happen. In next year's draft, they still have one because of the Deshaun Watson trade. So you come away with Stroud and Will Anderson, and you need a lot? Check the box. There's a ton of other talented kids on the screen here from Henry To'oTo'o in Alabama in the 5th round. Juice Scruggs and Tank Dell. Hey, you need a little juice. You need a tank.
Toto?
To fill it up. So there you go.
Tank feller.
I kind of dig that draft. You go ahead and you make the picks for kids that you want, and you be aggressive to get it done. Certainly if you don't think this draft is very deep. That's why I like the Texans draft. Number 4 on my list of top 5 drafts, I like what the Bengals did. Let's go. If we need to go after Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson in our division, we got to go after Mahomes, and we got to go after Josh Allen. Let's go get an edge rusher in Myles Murphy and Jordan Battle on the back end out of Alabama, and to get some points. Maybe we got Charlie Jones out of Purdue and Chase Brown, the running back at Illinois. I could see him making plays. And a Princeton Tiger playing for the Cincinnati Bengals kind of makes sense. And then they went smart. They got 2 Michigan guys. They got the punter, who's terrific. Brad Robinson, terrific punter.
He looks like
and
a
DJ
GM.
Turner out of Michigan. Folks, he was introduced to a lot of people in the country as the fastest guy at the combine. He can cover. And again, the most important thing, I said it on the air, I'll say it here. If you are playing football in Cincinnati, the one thing you need is to get guys who know how to win in the state of Ohio. So you get 2 Michigan guys. I'm living my best life.
That Princeton kid, Rich, I got a good feeling. I feel like that kid.
I don't need your advice on the Princeton guy.
Step on his joke.
Please.
He cracks himself up.
Kind of 2 guys who know how to win in the state of Ohio. All right, number 3 on this list. I like what the Seahawks did. Devin Witherspoon is on the back end of a defense that already has Tariq Woolen. And guess who's coming back? The Prez. Jamal Adams is going to be there too. They're going to lock that thing down on the back end, man. And he is a ball hawk. He's got Pete Carroll written all over him. And Jackson Smith-Njigba?
Yeah.
He was the first wide receiver taken. He may be the best wide receiver that Ohio State had in the last several years, as Joel Klatt kept saying, that Buckeye brass was telling him when Garrett Wilson was on the field and Olave was on the field. They're talking about this kid. Really? Derek Hall can rush the passer, and I know that they made a couple of eyebrows raised when they took 2 other running backs, including Zach Charbonnet in the 2nd round. You need to keep on getting these kids and run the ball, which is what Pete likes to do. And then, again, how smart are they, Seahawks? They're a very smart organization. They took 2 Michigan guys, too. Mike Morris, who, when he wasn't on the field, the Michigan defense didn't look nearly as stout. And Oluwatimi, pardon me. He came, he was a transfer. Mm-hmm. He was a center who can maul. He can maul, and he's right in the front of that offensive line that won the Joe Moore Award 2 years in a row for best offensive line. So you want a road grade, you get another running back, and you get this kid from Michigan, and then you get those other 2 to start. I really like what they did. Number 2, best draft. Hey, I really like the Pittsburgh Steelers draft a lot.
Yeah.
Broderick Jones, they go up, they beat the Jets to the punch for this kid. who is the last best, top-notch, first-round grade left tackle out there. So you get him. Najee Harris is going to love running behind him. Kenny Pickett's going to be protected by him. How about Joey Porter? How about bringing the legacy back for the top pick in the second round? They stayed put, and they took the kid out of Penn State. Long, tall corner. They're going to love him. Keanu Benton is a mauler from Wisconsin, right in the middle of the defensive line. Stick him next to Cam Hayward. Darnell Washington, Nick Herbig. Those are guys who are all so-called value picks. And then number one on the list, we all know it. The whole country's been talking about it. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Carter drops, let's go get him. Nolan Smith drops, of course they're going to take him. They get a tackle out of Alabama and Tyler Steen. Sidney Brown is a brick you-know-what house who's going to bring it defensively from Illinois. Keely Ringo, another Georgia Bulldog. Get out of here. They had 3 more kids from the defense that won the championship last year. And the best thing they did, too, they won the draft last year, in retrospect, by acquiring A.J. Brown. I'm not saying DeAndre Swift is A.J. Brown, but they were the only team, they were the first team last year to get a player in a draft and sign him. They got DeAndre Swift this year. He's a kid from Philadelphia who they're adding to their running back room. And they, you know what they coughed up? A 5th-round pick in the 2025 draft. They coughed up a pick in that draft. Guess what happened? Guess what happens if he doesn't play for them? He's got 1 more year left. Guess what happens if they don't play for him? They're going to get a 5th round. They're going to get a 4th round compensation pick. So sorry, they gave up a 4th round pick in a future draft. They're going to get a comp pick for him. So if he leaves, they get the pick back that they just flipped for him, and the rest of the league is sleeping.
It's like, what?
What, you don't need a DeAndre Swift? All you got to do is swap 7th round picks and and flip a future pick that you can replace with a comp pick if he leaves? 3-dimensional. I mean, I know a lot of eyes are rolling around the rest of the league saying that the media is just going crazy over the Eagles draft, but for good reason.
This is 2 years in a row.
That's my top 5.
You think we need one more?
Oh.
All right, we'll get one more.
It's not a draft per se. It's a specific player. The 49ers are on this list because they took the best kicker Michigan's ever had. I have been watching Michigan football since 1986. Jake Moody is without a doubt the best kicker Michigan has put on the field since I've been watching them since my freshman year when Jim Harbaugh was in his senior year as a quarterback there. He is that good. And let me just tell everybody out there that's just like, oh, they took a kicker, 99th overall. What are they doing? They stink. Why would they do that? Oh, because some linebacker or some defensive player that you've never heard of, some offensive player that you've hardly ever seen play, has got to be rated better than a kicker. This guy's going to put a ton of points up. If Brock Purdy or whoever is your quarterback, Lance, Darnold, for some reason fizzles around the 35-yard line, you know who's going to come out for a 52-yard field goal? This kid. And he's going to split the freaking uprights about 90 to 95% of the time. He's going to put points on the board. And what are you going to do in a draft where it's not that deep? You take guys that can make a difference, and I don't care what you say about kickers. This guy is a difference maker. Well done to the 49ers. And come at me after he wins about 3 games with his leg. Feel free to come at me if he misses a kick, too. It's what happens. But well done. That's my top 5 drafts for 2023. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.